So I read the statement made by this person who I didn't know, Michelle Fields. She's a reporter. And you have to find out, did she quit or did she get fired? Because, I heard a story about what happened, that they were pretty tough on her because they didn't necessarily believe it. I'm not saying you're going to have to ask them. I'm sure they'll eventually have to talk about it. But when I saw the tape, I saw her statement that she was practically thrown to the ground. And I said, that's terrible. And I would have fired him on the spot if that actually took place. Then I have very good security in my places. So I have beautiful security cameras all over not for this.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But by the way, not for this, but it's a thing.
Whatever reason.
So I have these great security cameras. I said, do me a favor, check those cameras. Maybe there's something. So I read her statement that she was thrown to the ground or almost thrown to the ground and grabbed. Now I see her in the tape, right? First of all, she grabbed me or touched me or whatever, but she grabbed. And you see me looking and like this, right? Number one, she wasn't supposed to be there because we had just finished a press conference. But here's the thing. I saw Corey, and on your show, on various shows, they've had criminal defense lawyers. Everybody says, what did he do? He didn't do anything. How can I fire a man and ruin a man's life? And most of you have seen the tape. I mean, if anything, I'll tell you, if anything, and I say this, and the easiest thing would have been, it's so sad. If I would have fired him, it would have been so much easier. This would be, I can't do that. I'm loyal to people. I'm loyal to the country. I'll be loyal to the people. When I saw, and you know what I'm talking about, because I've seen a lot of different shows, not even yours too, but I've seen a lot of different shows where they have lawyers on, and they're showing the tape. And virtually every single one of them said, what did he do? It was almost that he was running interference. Number one, she wasn't supposed to be there. She cut in front of Secret Service.
The press conference was over.
It was over. And it was a long press conference.
And he just put the hand out, no more questions.
And she wasn't supposed to be asking me. So that's not a big deal. She's thrown. She shouldn't have been there. That's a certain space that you have with Secret Service, not supposed to be there. And if you look at him, he basically ran interference. I mean, it's not like, now, do I destroy a man's life? Because, if I fired him, that would be the destruction of his life professionally, in my opinion. Do I do that? Then I guess she reported him to the police department. And, I mean, he's got charges for what? And people are looking. She grabbed me. She touched me. I look down. You can see I'm pulling my arm, as they run it slowly. She's not supposed to be there. Now, maybe I should file charges against her for grabbing me or touching me. Maybe I should file charges. So I think it's...
You have now been...
By the way, Jupiter, Florida is a great place. I respect it.
But it was a Hillary prosecutor.
But I want to tell you, I think it's a real black eye to justice and to criminal justice when somebody gets in trouble
for nothing.
And I only say, thank goodness we had that tape. Because I can imagine, when she saw that tape, all of a sudden the story sort of changed a little bit. It wasn't... Remember, you have to look at her first statement. Pulled to the ground or almost pulled to the ground. And it was like pretty vicious sounding. And then I saw the tape. So I think people should look at that. I think it's a great injustice.
Let me ask this question. Do you remember the day you came down Trump Towers? Melania was with you. Your family was there.
Yes.
You've been at this, 9 months?
Yeah.
9 months.
June 16th.
What have you learned the most about our political system, especially coming off of a hard week?
Well, wait, what was that? That's so funny. Well, I've learned that our country is very poorly run. I can tell you that. No, I've learned there's great, and I have to say this, and you're a total professional, and there are others, but I've learned there's tremendous dishonesty in the media. Tremendous dishonesty. Beyond anything I've ever witnessed. For instance, I talk about NATO, and I give this long study. I understand, I get it. I get how it is. I said it's obsolete, and 2-3 days later, people say, wow, that was really something. I said that we're spending too much money. We're taking care of all the freeloaders. We have 28 countries in there. We're taking care of a vast preponderance that they're not paying. And they're really not paying because nobody's asking them to pay, in my opinion. I have an instinct for this stuff. They should pay. But it's really, we need something for terrorism. That was set up, I think, 68 years ago or so for the Soviet Union. Well, the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. Russia's plenty tough. But here's the one thing. They cover my answer so inaccurately. And it's unbelievable. And every time I give a speech, I get a standing ovation on NATO and many other things. But the press takes about 3% of what I say, and they disguise it to make it look as bad as possible. So, I'm very, very dishonest.
What advice throughout this campaign, Melania, have you given your husband? What would you like him to change a little bit?
Well, as we discussed before, I said, tweeting and be more presidential. And he has, great nights, and he can be presidential. But sometimes he cannot stand that somebody attacks him. Because if somebody attacks him, he will punch back 10 times harder.